Design is super important to me, and I think that's the driver of any good work. If you don't have a good design, you don't necessarily have a great product at the end. When I talk about design, it doesn't need to be design as Class A architecture. Design is just finding the best solution for a problem. The Breithaupt Block, it's like an evolution of a series of buildings. 51 Breithaupt is a brick and beam building. With it brings some amazing characteristics of warmth and old charm character. Breithaupt II is a more modern concrete aesthetic. And then Breithaupt III, it was a blank slate. When Breithaupt II was being developed, there was a sensibility that this needed to be some kind of a campus. So we were looking at proportions, materiality, connectivity. There's elements like belt lines, so transition between the podiums to the glass buildings on top. And all kind of stems from the original Breithaupt I. Not one of those buildings is exactly like the next. They're all very individual, but they all have qualities to them which are carried from one to the other. That could be size, form, type of windows, the type of glass, and the connections between the buildings. You perceive or understand buildings at different scales. From a distance, you understand its height, the materiality, but when you're right up against the building and you're opening the door, that's a totally different experience. We introduced 6 columns to support the structure above. You can't just go and buy 6-story columns off the shelf. So we looked around and came up with a solution of using oil and gas pipes from Alberta, brought to the site and installed as a single column. The level of detail that you need to provide at the pedestrian level is important, whether it's in the parquet, around the base, or the front entry. All those pieces are sort of carefully thought through. As architects, we always think we need to be adding pieces to the building, but the exercise was to actually simplify it and take all that noise out and just kind of quiet it down to something that's much calmer. It usually results in something that is more timeless. The creation of architecture comes out of observation. So every day I get to walk the street or go into a building and observe things about what works and what doesn't. And that observation probably is the single most important part of what infuses my design process. Observe what's around you, take those inputs and distill them down into something interesting to the people who are going to use it.